You ready? So if you weren't here for the first half of the experiment, there's the chemistry experiment to investigate the effect of using different fruit and veg and using different electrodes on the EMF, the voltage produced. So the first bit of the experiment that we did was we got different fruit and veg. So we got an orange, for example, and we used copper and zinc electrodes. Okay, so let's say the orange was one piece of fruit and veg that we use, and we put the copper and zinc electrodes in, and then we got a multimeter and we tested the voltage. .531 was the highest. So we tested the voltage. And then we got another piece. So let's say we got a potato and we put the copper and zinc electrodes in and we tested the voltage. And then we did another fruit or veg and we tested the voltage. We always tried to keep the copper and zinc electrodes the same distance apart when we put them into the different fruit and veg. We always tried to push them in the same distance when we tested the fruit or veg that we were using. Alright? And we were trying to see which fruit or veg would produce the highest voltage. Right. So our method was, well, we didn't cut open the fruit or veg, so you'll have to change that. What we did was we placed copper and zinc electrodes, that's correct, into the fruit or veg that we were using, and we tested the voltage. Alright, so you don't have to include that cut open. Alright, so we had to do a diagram. This is the diagram, so you can label it electrodes. Now this is the piece of fruit or veg. This is a multimeter. Right, from there we had results, and these are some of the results that we recorded.
Can you go down to the message?
No, I can't. Wait. The lemon, just watch, you don't need to write it in at all. The lemon had a voltage of 2.24, the watermelon 2.18, this was a parsnip 1.75, onion 0.91, butternut squash 1.95, lime 2.21. What did I just say the orange was there a moment ago? 0.531. So we'll put in the orange. Right. What did we keep the same? Well, the constants. The distance between the electrodes was the same. The distance that we pushed the electrodes in to the fruit or veg was the same. What did we change? We changed the fruit or veg that we used, didn't we? That was the only thing that we changed in that experiment. Alright. So some of the questions. Which fruit was the best? So you had to determine which one was the best. Why was this the best one? Was citric acid? Was that a probability? So you had to do a bit of research. You had to find out, by doing a bit of research, which one was the best. What about the parsnip? If there's not citric acid, was the parsnip good? Is there citric acid in the parsnip? If there's not, what electrolyte, what juice in the parsnip is good for creating batteries? Now, so you had to find 2 websites. So I'd advise you to look at one website looking at electrolytes, citric acid, and what other electrolyte, let's say in potatoes or in parsnips, is good. Find out what's good. Which fruit or veg makes the best battery? So you have the right answer. What other electrodes can I use? And we're going to look at that other experiment. Now, that's the second half. All right? All right? So you need 2 websites. So you define the website, write down the address. Do you know when you find a website sometimes that it gives a really, really, really long address? I just want the first bit of the website address. And from each website, you have to write down what I've learned. So the first website, you could be looking up citric acid. The second website, you could be looking up, what is the electrolyte in butternut squash that makes it so good? Or parsnip that makes it so good. Then we have to draw a graph for results. And then do analysis. Analysis is talking about the graph. What does the graph, well, at the start the graph is so high. So the graph, what does the graph tell me? That's analysis. Conclusions is what I have learned from my experiment. Are what I have learned the same as what I thought was going to happen at the beginning? Now there's a section called errors and improvements. Can you find any errors with your experiment? And how can I improve it? How can you normally improve an experiment? By how many times did we test the parsnip? Once. How many times should I test it? As many times as possible and calculate an average. An average, yeah. So reduce errors by making many readings and calculate an average. Okay? So that was the first test.